Most men over 40 do not make thinning hair look worse because they are losing hair. They make it worse because they are styling it like they still have thick hair. Maybe your hairline has moved back a little. Maybe the top is not as full as it used to be. Maybe the haircut that worked 10 or 15 years ago just doesn't feel right anymore. That does not mean you've lost your style or your confidence. It just means your grooming needs to adjust to the man you are today. In this video, you'll learn which thinning hair mistakes make mature men look older, what to change in your haircut and styling routine, and what to ask your barber so your hair looks cleaner, sharper, and more natural. Stay with me, because mistake number 4 is something many men think makes hair look neater, but it often makes thinning hair look even thinner. And the final mistake is not really about hair. It is about whether you are choosing a style for the man you are now, or holding on to a version of yourself that no longer fits. Let's start with the mistake most men make for a very understandable reason: keeping the hair too long. Mistake 1. Keeping your hair too long. When your hair starts getting thinner, it's natural to want to keep as much length as possible. A lot of men think, if I grow it longer, I'll have more to work with, and maybe it'll cover the thinner areas better. That makes sense at first. But in real life, thinning hair does not always behave that way. When thin hair gets too long, it can fall flat, separate into sections, lose shape, and make the scalp easier to see. Sometimes the issue is not how thin your hair is, but how much the length is working against you. That is good news because length and shape are things you can adjust. For mature men, shape matters more than length. A shorter haircut with structure can look cleaner and more intentional than longer hair trying to cover too much. That does not mean you have to shave your head. It simply means your haircut should match your current hair, not the hair you had 20 years ago. A textured crop, crew cut, short side part, taper, or buzz cut can work depending on your level of thinning. The main idea is simple: clean shape, controlled sides, a neat neckline, and enough texture on top so the hair does not sit flat. If your hair separates, falls flat, or needs constant adjusting, it may be too long for your current density. And if the haircut only looks good from one angle, it probably is not the right haircut for your hair today. A good question to ask yourself is this: is this length actually helping me? Or am I just keeping it because I'm used to it? That question alone can save you from holding on to a haircut that no longer serves you. Once you stop relying on length alone, the next mistake becomes much easier to spot. Mistake 2. Forcing a heavy comb over. Forcing a heavy comb over usually comes from a very understandable place. No man wants thinning hair to be the first thing people notice. So a lot of men start moving hair across the top to create coverage. But when the hair is already thinning, a strong comb over can sometimes draw more attention to the area you're trying to soften. It may look okay in the bathroom mirror, but then real life happens. You walk outside, the wind moves your hair. You sit under bright lighting, your hair gets a little oily, and suddenly the area you were trying to cover becomes more visible. The problem is not that you're trying to look better. That is a good thing. The problem is that this approach depends on everything staying perfectly in place all day. And that is a lot to ask from hair that is already thinning. A better approach is to choose a haircut that looks natural even when it moves a little. That might be a textured crop, a soft side part, a short top with tapered sides, or a buzz cut if the thinning is more advanced. The goal is to look clean, confident, and comfortable. The better move is not to cover every thin spot. It is to make the whole haircut look balanced. Balanced usually looks more confident than covered. For men over 40 and men over 50, that kind of confidence matters more than hiding every thin area. Instead of asking how to cover it, ask how to shape it better. That one mindset shift can change the whole haircut. Even if the top is handled well, the sides can still make thinning hair look more obvious. Mistake 3. Letting the sides get too bulky. This mistake is easy to miss because it does not feel like a mistake at first. A lot of men lose density on top while the sides still grow thick, so the haircut starts to feel unbalanced. When the sides look full and the top looks flatter, that contrast makes thinning more noticeable. Sometimes the top is not the real problem. The sides are simply too heavy. For mature men, the area around the ears and neckline makes a big difference. When those areas are clean, the whole haircut looks fresher and more polished. You do not need a trendy skin fade. You do not need a haircut that feels too young for you. Ask for the sides to be cleaned up, not shaved too aggressively. A clean, low taper, Medium taper, short sides, and a neat neckline are often enough. The goal is balance, clean sides, a controlled shape, and a top that looks intentional. Clean sides make the whole haircut feel more current without trying too hard. Even simple casual outfits look sharper when the haircut is clean. If your hair looks heavy around the ears or messy at the neckline, clean that up before you assume the whole haircut is wrong. This is one of those small changes that can make a mature man look more put together almost immediately. Next is the mistake I mentioned at the beginning, the one that feels neat, but often makes thinning hair look worse. Mistake 4. Using wet, shiny products. Many men over 40 still use the same hair product they used years ago. Heavy gel, shiny pomade, wet look styling cream. Anything that locks the hair in place all day can become a problem. When your hair was thicker, that may have worked fine. But if your hair is thinning, those products can create the opposite effect. Shiny products often clump thinning hair together instead of letting it look soft and natural. When those clumps separate, the scalp is easier to see. Heavy product also pulls the hair down, removes volume, and makes it sit closer to the head. So even if the haircut is good, the product can make the hair look thinner than it actually is. With thinning hair, the rule is simple. Less shine, less weight, more texture. That one rule can fix a lot of everyday styling problems. Matte clay, texture paste, volumizing powder, sea salt spray, or a lightweight styling cream usually work better than wet gel or heavy pomade. You don't need much. Towel dry your hair, use a blow dryer for a minute if you need lift, then apply a small amount of matte product with your fingers. Do not smash the hair down or create a hard shell. Just give it light control and movement. If your product makes your hair look wet, heavy, crunchy, or separated, it is probably not helping. Start with less product than you think you need. You can always add more. If one of these already sounds familiar, drop the number in the comments. No judgment. Most men have done at least one. Product is only part of the story. The way you part your hair matters too. Mistake 5. Making the part too sharp. A side part can work very well for a mature man, but the part itself can become a problem when it gets too sharp. With thick hair, a sharp line can look crisp, but with thinner hair, it can make the part look wider than it really is. This is especially true when the hair is combed tightly or styled with shiny product. The style can start to look stiff, flat, and less natural. You just want to soften the line. Use your fingers first, then use a comb only to lightly clean it up so the hair falls more naturally with light texture. You want to guide the hair, not force it. A clean part should organize the hair. It should not create a bright line that pulls attention to the scalp. This works especially well for a receding hairline or thinning crown because a softer part makes the overall style look more relaxed. A good mature hairstyle should look clean, not forced. That is usually what makes it look more confident. If your haircut looks good for a week and then suddenly falls apart, this next mistake may be the reason. Mistake 6. Waiting too long between haircuts. Thinning hair usually needs consistent maintenance. That does not mean complicated grooming. It means staying ahead of the haircut before it loses its shape. When your hair is thick, you can often go longer between haircuts. But when your hair is thinning, the shape can fall apart more quickly. The sides grow out, the neckline gets messy, the top sits flatter, and the thinner areas become more noticeable. For many men over 40, every 3 to 5 weeks is a good rhythm. Some men need it sooner, and some can go longer. But the point is to maintain the shape before it works against you. This is not about being high maintenance. It's just basic upkeep. You maintain your car, you maintain your home, you maintain your shoes. Your haircut is part of that same idea. A clean neckline, neat sides, and controlled shape can make you look more put together without changing your entire style. Even simple casual clothes look more intentional when your haircut is clean. So don't wait until your haircut feels completely out of control. Don't wait until you hate your hair. Book the next cut before the shape collapses. Set a rhythm and keep it simple. The next mistake is about color, but the real issue is contrast. Mistake 7. Creating too much color contrast. A lot of men think this mistake is about gray hair, but it is really about contrast. There is nothing wrong with managing gray hair, but going too dark can work against thinning hair by creating too much contrast. Very dark color can create strong contrast against a lighter scalp, making thin areas easier to see. Very dark color can also look unnatural if your beard, eyebrows, or sideburns are already gray. Gray hair does not automatically make you look old. Poorly matched color can make thinning hair stand out more. A little salt and pepper can look strong when the haircut is clean and the color looks natural. If you color your hair, consider a softer tone closer to your natural color. Avoid going too black or too flat. Keep it natural enough that it works with your skin tone, facial hair, and age. Sometimes the better move is a cleaner haircut, better texture, and less contrast. Natural usually looks better than forced. As your hair gets thinner, your scalp becomes harder to ignore. Mistake 8. Ignoring your scalp. When your hair gets thinner, your scalp becomes part of the overall look. That means scalp care becomes part of basic grooming, not something extra or complicated. If your scalp is oily, flaky, irritated, or covered with product buildup, the whole hairstyle can look less clean. A clean scalp will not magically give you more hair, but it can help the hair you have look better. Oil, dandruff, and product buildup can make thinning hair separate faster and look dull, heavy, or less clean. Keep the approach simple. Wash regularly with a shampoo that works for your scalp, rinse product fully, use less heavy styling product, and address dandruff if needed. If your hair loss changes quickly, you lose hair in patches, or your scalp is painful, itchy, red, or irritated, talk with a professional. From a grooming perspective, a clean scalp helps create a cleaner overall look. What you do at home matters, but what you say in the barber chair can change the whole result. Mistake 9. Avoiding an honest barber conversation. One of the easiest ways to keep getting the wrong haircut is avoiding an honest conversation with your barber. A lot of men sit in the barber chair and say the same thing every time, same as usual. That can work for a while, until your hair changes. If your hair has changed, your usual haircut may not be the best haircut anymore. Your barber can do a better job when you give clear information. You do not have to make it awkward or over-explain. Just be direct and practical. You can say something simple like this: "My hair is thinning on top, and I want a clean shape that works with it." Or say this: "Keep the sides neat, add some texture on top, and don't leave it too heavy." That kind of direction helps your barber understand what you need. This is not awkward when you keep it practical. A mature man does not need to pretend nothing is changing. He adjusts. Instead of repeating a haircut from 10 years ago, ask for a haircut that matches your density today. That is how you get a haircut that works in real life, not just in the barber chair. That leads to the final mistake, which is less about hair and more about how you see yourself. Mistake 10. Holding onto your 25-year-old haircut. This last mistake may be the most important because it is not just about hair. It's about identity. A lot of men are not just holding onto a haircut. They are holding onto an older version of themselves. The haircut that worked at 25 may not work best at 45, 55, or 65. Your hairline, face, lifestyle, and personal style have changed. So your grooming should grow with you. That is not giving up. That is updating the system. You do not need your 25-year-old haircut. You need a haircut that fits your face, your hair, and your life now. Instead of asking what makes me look younger, ask what makes me look sharper. Trying too hard to look young can make a man look less confident, while a clean, natural, well-maintained style can make him look stronger and more self-assured. The goal is not to hide age. The goal is to age well. That idea goes beyond hair. It affects your beard, skin, clothes, posture, and overall everyday style. A man over 40 does not need to chase youth. He can choose a sharper, more confident look. When you understand that, thinning hair becomes something you manage well, not something that defines your whole look. If you remember one thing from this video, make it this: thinning hair does not mean you have lost your style. The wrong haircut, heavy products, poor maintenance, and an outdated grooming mindset are what make it more obvious than it needs to be. The fix is simple. Choose shape over length, texture over shine, consistent upkeep over neglect, and a style that fits the man you are now. You do not need perfect hair to look sharp. You need a better strategy for the hair you have today. When you make those changes, thinning hair becomes less of the story. People notice the full picture: a man who looks clean, confident, masculine, and put together. If one of these mistakes felt familiar, comment the first thing you're going to fix. Subscribe for practical grooming and style advice for mature men who want to look sharp without trying too hard. Thin hair does not need to be hidden. It needs to be handled well. Thanks for watching.